Tell me the seller.
I'm not telling you anymore.
Tell me the seller.
We're already recording. We can't divulge too much.
Amazing. Tell me this much. Did he tell you that I got it?
I'm ready, bro.
Oh, that's good stuff. Good stuff. All right. Let's just get it rolling while we're cooking, right?
Yeah, we're cooking. Yeah.
Okay.
Welcome to Crosstown Cardboard episode 80. We can't believe we made it this far, and we're grateful to anyone who has even watched a single or listened to a single Crosstown Cardboard episode. And, because we want to send some outward praise, we're going to do an internal audit. That's the title of episode 80, an internal audit. And, it's kind of funny that title sounds so professional because Craig and myself, we're just two casual guys. That's Craig at New York City Sports Cards, the math teacher, the soccer coach in New York City. And I'm Carmine at Carmine's Cards, the sports storyteller down here in Greenville, South Carolina. And at the time of this recording, when it drops on episode 80, Craig, I will be attending my first NCAA March Madness tournament as a reporter. So proud of that accomplishment. Big milestone, especially for a hoops lover like myself. Headed to Pittsburgh, PA. I'll wave at our cousins, Oz and Tony, as we pass over the Philly area, well, specifically Reading. And so they're going to play the Oregon Ducks. And we'll see if it's as quacktastic as it seems like on paper. But Craig, let's not stray too far from the main point. Internal audit. Okay, what brought this on for episode 80's topic? And can you please put that into terms that we can all understand of what an internal audit really is?
First of all, very cool you work in the NCAA tournament game. So you have Oregon versus
South Carolina.
Okay.
The Gamecock men making their first NCAA tournament appearance since 2017. And in that year, they went to the Final Four. Remember Sindarius Thornwell and all those guys?
They were a low seed.
Yeah, they were pretty. I mean, that was a Cinderella run for sure.
All right, internal audit. By the way.
Yeah.
As we came up with this title 5 minutes before recording.
Okay, I just want to say I came up with this title and I'm off the schneid because you were on such a hot streak coming up with these titles as, well-deserved, but I feel like I finally got one in there. I feel good.
It is funny because it is tax season. So this was unintentional.
Right.
Unintentional, internal audit. So what sparked this for me is at my high school, I teach 12th grade math, pre-calculus. And this semester I started teaching a financial math course for 10th graders. Investing, banking, taxes, all that. I wish I had that class in high school. So I'm having fun with it. So obviously that's last period of the day. So my mind is in this investment portfolio type mindset. My students are playing the stock market game. They have a fake $100,000 and they get to invest and see how each other are doing in real companies.
Wow, that's fun.
Pretty cool. So that got me
any GameStop?
Tomorrow's going to be the first day they get to choose, so they can have fun with it.
Okay.
I mean, GameStop, that's like the Kenny Pickett, Desmond Ritter of the hobby, right?
Right.
Hype stocks.
Yeah.
But so it got me thinking, I keep track of my inventory. Everything I buy, sell, trade. We documented that.
Yep.
When I went over all the finances, and I came to think of it, I look at my PC. How many times do you look at your collection? I go into like my Knicks collection, my PC, I would say twice a week.
Yeah, probably once a week, but it's funny. I have my Zion case, my 4-row, big case. My right side of the case, I carry my really nice PC items with me because I don't want them to be too far away from like if I'm attending a card event or I'm going to a show, I want to, first of all, be able to show people what my PC is and then feel like, all right, my closest to my heart cards are still somewhere traveling with me.
I respect that. I have a different perspective, but everyone hobbies their own way. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it had me thinking that I look at my personal collection, which is New York Knicks cards, obviously, amongst basketball cards. Like there's a Tatum card in there. There's a Curry card in there. You got some Jackie Robinson vintage.
Mm-hmm.
The Michael Jordan stuff. Ollie, right? So it's a little diverse.
Yep.
I have yet to put all of those cards in a spreadsheet and really look at a value of what my collection is worth.
Gotcha.
So that was a fun project. What I paid, what it's worth now, and really just have a log of everything.
Yeah. So you had
And
done that mostly for your inventory in the year-end
sure,
show we did 3 months ago, and now you're going through the PC and getting the numbers on that.
because I always had a rough estimate of what my collection is worth, and
Right.
I don't know if you don't look at this as an investment, like it is. That's what it is. It's no different than any other portfolio.
Yeah, it's an investment with like a hobby,
Enjoyment.
element to it. But you can't separate the two, I don't think.
Yeah, you can. And I feel like I found the perfect mix of cards that I like. Like the card's cool, I got a good value, good story or something, and it's unique in its own way that I think it will maintain value, and it's a player or a team that I like. I feel like for me, I found the perfect mix of that stuff.
Yeah, that's great.
So I went and priced everything out. What's my collection worth? And I'm not going to get into the numbers. We
Okay.
talked about my year-end financials by sole trade. I feel like my cutoff limit is what my collection is actually worth. We'll keep that to me,
Okay.
but I will give a percentage breakdown.
Okay.
That's where the pie chart comes in. Do you want to just
Yes.
share that graphic?
Yes. Let me bring it up. And can you start talking about it while I do the tech side of it?
Sure thing. So I kept it pretty broad. The 4 categories were basketball, soccer, other, inventory. Other includes like the Jackie Robinson cards, the Cassius Clay rookie, the Ichiro card for my honeymoon, like a Derek Jeter card that I pulled. But if you look at the breakdown, you could see my inventory is 10%.
Mm-hmm.
So my whole net worth, and this got me thinking to our guy, the Plug, aka Plug in the Valley. Who, remember, I asked him about this, and basically he pulls up like a 6-figure card collection, which was very impressive, and that's everything for him right there.
Right.
So just has me thinking. It's I consider myself to be a collector. This is kind of like mathematical proof of that.
Yeah.
90% of the cards that I own are stuff that I keep at home that I don't bring to shows. Post on Instagram. I like to look at them. The stuff I bring with me, that's 10% of everything. So my inventory is worth about 10% of my net card worth. Now, my card, as far as other investments, like this is just one relative to like retirement, E-Trade stock, stuff like that. So for me, this is just like a piece of everything. And then within the hobby, here are the piece breakdowns.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Feel me?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I
Okay.
get it. And I appreciate you sharing this breakdown because I think it helps anybody, just to be intentional about what their collection is in the future, but also that internal audit to know, okay, here's where I stand. So maybe I can invest a little bit more in the inventory side, or, I'm too heavy in inventory more so than what I like. And maybe I want to get more into the collecting piece. It's basically like, creating a budget. Like it just helps you be aware of where your money is in that case, but in this case, where your collection is at. And, information's power. So being able to have this is really interesting. So did this surprise you, Craig, that 90% of your card worth is in your collection? I mean, it surprised me. I mean, of course, I don't have as good of a pulse on your collection as you do, but this surprised me. I would have thought, maybe 70-30 if I was going to say 70% collection versus 30% inventory for you.
I was also surprised that soccer was as high as it was, but I do believe
Okay.
in soccer long term still, and that my inventory was so low. As I'm
Yeah.
looking at these cards that I picked up here today, that we'll get to later, that are super cool but kind of random, cool to cost ratio, which obviously we will get into. CTCR for short. We'll save time.
Yeah.
Um,
We'll save time.
it makes me be able to have more fun with this inventory because the stuff that I'm just like moving around and flipping, it's a small piece, right? This is my fun. The inventory is the
Yeah.
fun part of it. The idea is to try to turn that into the PC stuff, maybe make a little money along the way. That's my recipe for success.
So did it make you, because like when you say, it's just a small piece of the pie, that makes me think like, okay, well, if you're taking losses and wins on the inventory, that's almost like a bonus. Like you don't really have to put that much painstaking pressure on yourself to like, oh, I got to make this profit, or I got to, buy
Sure.
this card for what percentage, and really, agonize over it. Because when you look at it and you really take a step back in a, 10,000 foot view, it's only 10% of what you got.
Mm-hmm. And you can look at it as you've created a floor for yourself, assuming everything else retains its value, which just, in my opinion, majority of it will. Worst case, take a 10% loss.
Yeah.
I love
I mean,
math. I really do. Like, that's obviously why I'm a math teacher. I just the charts and then coming up with conclusions from the charts. It creates dialogue and conversation. So this was fun for me.
yeah, no, this is great. And also, don't sell yourself short. I mean, not only do you love math, but you love what your next degree was in, which can you remind us?
Instructional technology was my master's.
Yeah. And this is a perfect
Yeah.
depiction with the pie chart. So when you say, you have your retirement versus, your collection and this pie chart as your, side investment, what's like the percentage of your retirement versus the card collection? Like, how does that rank as far as, how much investment, or do you know that?
I don't know that off the top of my head. Not even close to a lot of it
Okay.
off the top of my head. I would have to
So
audit
you're
that as well. That's what my account's for.
right. Yeah, no audit on the actual. We're just auditing
The
card
yeah,
the
of
card fund right now. But your retirement is way more than the
course,
card financials. Okay.
of course, yeah, has to be,
Okay.
has to be. I that's what I would guide kids to like assure of, and that again, that goes back to what I was saying to our guy PITV, plug in the valley.
Oh my gosh. Good way to save time there. Thank you.
He doesn't have anything invested in the stock. It's all
Yeah.
cards. It's
Yeah.
I'm not criticizing him for it. I'm really not. I'm just bringing attention to it. And I think it's interesting. People
Yeah.
have
Well,
different things.
you told him at the time, like maybe think about, 5,
Sure.
10% at least to get the ball rolling in your early 20s. But, you know, you're just a math teacher. I
That's
mean,
it.
what do you know about numbers? You're just a math teacher. But
But yes, I had fun making this, and glad we got to talk about it. I feel it makes me feel really good about the stuff that I'm getting. Like it's my fun. This my 10% is my fun.
mhm. So
So
what are the
there's different types of fun though. There's fun where you get to move, transact, buy, sell, trade, and then
right?
there's the fun, which is my 90%, which is sifting through it, looking at it, remembering where I got the card, why I got the card. So two different levels of fun from the inventory and everything else.
Right. And losing money isn't very fun. I mean, no matter if it's extra money or if it's
Valid.
collectible money, that's never fun. So that is always a fun aspect of it. I ran a story sale. Speaking of the inventory piece,
How'd that go?
it was okay. It was pretty good. I think I sold about $950 worth of cards between Facebook
Great.
and Instagram,
That was great.
which was good, and made an overall solid profit off of it. I would say probably 35-40%.
W. Take
Yeah,
that.
yeah. It made me feel good. And, got some more money in the card fund to turn around and put into card fun. So, because that's just how money works in the card hobby. Obviously, you get to put it into having more fun. So, excited about that. And, hadn't made a story sale, hadn't put that up in a while, or a Facebook sale. I just wish there was a little more effort to communicate, and I know we've talked about that before. I don't want to be a downer, but when you comment on somebody's post and you make an offer, and usually I like message the person directly if we're close, like if I feel like we can get a deal done, I'm like, let me just inbox you, and I'll say PM sent, personal message sent on Facebook. And, indicating that hopefully the person would see my comment, check their messages from, an outside non-friend. But, sadly that isn't always returned. So that's the only aspect that I wish was a little bit easier was like, but most people are good at it and we're able to get a deal done. So felt good about it. And, a few of the cards that were included in those deals were from the trading down from the deal that I spoke about, a few episodes ago when I turned the 4 cards into 24. So that freed up a lot of inventory and gave me, much cheaper cards in that ideally $500 to $50 range that are going to move much more quickly. So that move, seems to be good so far.
Nice. Sorry, I got distracted looking at the card that you think you know which one I was thinking of.
Just bring it up, bro. Just bring it up. I mean, this is how
Oh
we
no,
started
I'm
off.
happy for you about the story sale though. That's good.
Thanks, bro.
Because
Yeah.
I'll post on Facebook sometimes and no one likes it. I'm like, what am I doing here? So I'm
You
glad.
know what I do? You know what I do? Do you do this? Let me know, because I usually put up my picture, my one picture of like, my coin photo with my name, the date, and I put it up in my Zion box. And then I have a bunch of my cards, like, so you can see them laid out so that it kind of entice people. And then wait until a bunch of people put W's. So I'll wait like 3 hours after posting that original photo in the Facebook group. And then once there's like, 30 W's or however many, then I start, I like all their comments, and then I start posting individual photos one by one, because then that gets the traction,
Sure.
in the algorithm, because the number of comments influences how often that post, pops up on people's feed. So that's what I try to do. I feel like going with the comment route, where each card is a photo with a description and a price, and that just adds to the comments rather than posting them all in one post, and you don't have any comments to indicate to other people's Facebook algorithm, hey, show this to other people. But that's just my approach to it.
There's Carmine's lesson on Facebook posting. There you go.
There you go.
It's good stuff.
Okay, so let's just rip the Band-Aid
Yeah,
off, bro.
because we'll use this time to get into pickups. Remind me, I have to talk about my hobby friend that I met in real life today, though, afterwards.
Okay, yes.
Let's get to some cards. Should we talk cards?
And tickets, but yes, cards.
And tickets. I forgot. I'll start with one, then you go.
Okay.
Um,
Wait, how many do you have before, so I know?
I could turn this into 2 stories.
Okay.
Okay. So our guy Koopy cards.
Yeah.
Is that the one?
Yeah.
He had a nice story sale and a couple things that I liked. This one, although it's player worn, it's a rookie, so we'll make an exception. But it's cool because it's immaculate rookie and it's a giant patch, and it's called Team Logo. Brooklyn, there's 8 letters, obviously, and this is numbered 5 out of 8. Nicholas Claxton, good player.
Yeah. He's a good rim runner.
The giant B from Brooklyn. Yes, again, player worn, but I do like that it's out of 8, so 1 for each letter of Brooklyn. So
Yeah.
pretty cool. Pretty cool.
That is cool, and I like it more because it's the B of Brooklyn.
Exactly. That's in all seriousness. And when we were at National, if you remember, I saw a Bill Russell letter patch, full letter, game worn. It was a card.
Did I see that one too?
I do not know. I'm gonna try
Was it at the guy's table who had all the rare, unique stuff?
I mean, if you got a Bill Russell letter patch like that, one would assume,
Okay. Man, that's awesome. What was the price tag on that?
The Bill Russell.
Yeah.
I am doing my absolute best to try to look it up as we speak right now. But he made a point of saying the first letter holds more value. So the R in Russell holds more value, which is not really that surprising.
No, that's the initial. If you were to break it down to an initial, and then, just sets the tone for the whole rest of the word. So, wow, that is an incredible. If you're watching on YouTube, you should really look up From Washing Your Dishes and take a look at the
unbelievable card. SP.
Wow.
I've said we talked
20K.
About we said SP game used is one of my favorite ever. I've said that many a times.
Yep.
Look at that. Bill Russell, game worn letter R, $20,000 price tag. Unbelievable card.
That is incredible. And you know what? Correct me if I'm wrong, but does that seem like that was on the warm up? Like button over, you know how they used to have the button up short sleeve warm ups back then?
Quite possible.
It looks like it was from a warm up.
Unbelievable card. So,
man, that's amazing. 20K. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think 20K? I mean, we didn't obviously do any research, but does 20K seem? I don't know.
You could ask whatever you want for that.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know. Well, obviously, I don't have enough money. Right? I don't have enough money to. I don't have enough money to even think about it. But
so look, this is just the B from Brooklyn, right? Not let's.
And also Nick Claxton versus Bill Russell, but yes.
The next card, as I said at the end of the year, when we think back of our cool to cost ratio cards and our first team all CTCR, this first team candidate.
This is the one that's going to stab me in the heart.
Because the price tag was $40. PSA 9, you know what it is. How do you know what it is?
I know what it is because I also messaged Koopy Cards about it, and he said Craig already bought that card. And I said, why don't you tell that guy to go back to the podcast where he came from? And he thought that was relatively funny.
I'm sure he did. Nice. Shout out to Jeremy. Vince Carter, 2000 Hoops Hot Prospects, which is Fleer. I loved Fleer basketball products. That was like my prime childhood opening packs. The random Fleer products, Fleer Focus, Fleer Genuine, Fleer Maximum. These were all real things.
Yeah.
This was 2000 Fleer Hoops Hot Prospects. Vince Carter, first in-flight warm-ups in a PSA 9, which features an authentic game-worn warm-up from both his Raptors uniform and his North Carolina uniform. That is a cool card. Come on now.
And not only does it feature North Carolina and Raptors, but the game-used warm-ups are the North Carolina has a Tar Heel in which the fabric fits in, and every toe is accounted for. And then you have the Raptor, which has 3, talons, toes, claws, compared to the 5 human toes. But the purple fabric is in the shape of a raptor foot. So you have 2 feet, 2 species, and then half man, half amazing, which is a 3rd species of his own. Freaking, that's why I wanted that card.
Yeah, I might keep that one. That's cool.
You can't, that like you said, the CTCR on that for $40. Vince Carter is such a legend. And is he doing a between the legs dunk in that photo on the card? I mean, what is he?
That's a great call.
I mean, this guy's going between the legs.
Numbered out of 1,000. Old school PSA slab, too.
And an old school PSA slab, which I like more, and a PSA 9. I'd imagine low pop on that because
low pop.
I looked up, I got as far as looking up, what the raw ones were going for because, again, I wanted this card. And I'm very happy for you, if you can't tell by the tone of my voice, that you were able to get it.
Well, here we are.
That's funny, though, that we both have the same thought process on some cards like that.
Pop, 20, none higher.
Wow, no 10s.
No 10s. Numbered out of
wow.
A card that's numbered out of 1,000, no 10s. Interesting.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. Well,
tell me about your tickets.
That was great. Well, what a mic drop. That's like Allen Iverson walking over to Ron Liu, and then he's like, "Tell me about your tickets." Which I bet Tyronn Lue's family may not have bought a ticket or saved a ticket from that game, but they did win the series. I always love
Allen Iverson's step over ticket would be cool.
Yes, I actually sent that to Oz, cousin Oz. As a big Allen Iverson fan and a friend of Crosstown Cardboard, being a great interview. You should check that out. He got his Allen Iverson Grail a little while back, and we talked to him about it. Mm-hmm. But I sent him, because I'm trying to present cool ticket opportunities to my close friends in the hobby, even though you've denied being my ticket partner or ticket plus one, as we've sadly established so far. But I just want to present these tickets to friends to say, here's what the ticket market has available for you if you choose to join me in this hobby history. And so he really liked that. I sent him the ticket to the Allen Iverson NBA Finals Game 1, step over, game over, Tyronn Lue, the only game that the Sixers won in that series against Shaq and Kobe. And it was autographed by Allen Iverson. And he's like, damn, that's a cool ticket. So that was about as far as that went. But anyways, let's go back to the cards. This is a card first podcast, okay? For now,
Crosstown tickets.
We're gonna. You're right.
Spin off.
Well, I mean, so I'm not allowed to purchase any paper tickets. I have to keep it cardboard tickets. Like I have to make sure the material.
Yeah, that's cool.
Just to keep it kosher with the CEOs of Crosstown Cardboard. So let me tell you about some cards I got. Okay, as we know, speaking of podcasts, I'm a big fan of the Old Man and the Three, JJ Redick's podcast with Tommy Alter. And I just think he's a great combination of humor, smarts, hoops, nerdiness, credibility with the other players, and, just a cool dude. So I got these 3 JJ Redick autographs from our brothers down under in Australia. And as we know, big hoops lovers,
Love
on
hoops
their
over in Australia.
own
Great cards over
continent.
there.
Great cards and great continent, and keep sending out those exports to the United States. So I got one JJ Redick Vanguard in Focus autograph, not a big time brand, but on card autos, which I like. Numbered out of 10.
What is that called? Vanguard?
Yeah.
Huh. As we were talking about investing earlier, Vanguard.
Ah.
It all comes full circle.
Man, that's great. Great connection. So I got this other JJ Redick autograph. I got 3 in total. This one is Spectra in the Zone, numbered 5 out of 5, also on card auto.
Cool.
So these are kind of cool because it's a player I like, but it's also inventory because it's not like really an autograph that I want to keep. But until then, it's a PC player, so I'm like, until I get what I want out of it, I feel like that's a good spot to be in. This one's cool. The only thing is it's a sticker auto, which, as you know, I'm not a big fan of. But, the price was good for what I got out of it. So in this 3-card JJ Redick deal, this one is Obsidian Lightning Strike sticker auto, but it's a true 1 of 1.
Nice.
So kind of cool, so it takes away from it. Sticker auto 1 of 1, not quite as collectible, but still JJ Redick, big following as a podcaster and also, a player, Duke, huge college basketball following. So 1 of 1 auto there. It's a Obsidian Lightning Strike.
Nice.
1 of 1. So got 3 low number JJ Redick autographs, 1 of 1 out of 5 and out of 10. So what do you think I paid total for those 3 from Australia shipped?
$50.
What, bro? I got a JJ Redick 1 of 1 auto here.
Sure. 150.
Yeah, I think it was 170.
Okay, nice.
Jeez, I got to negotiate with you.
I didn't think that.
I'll take all 3 for 50.
Should we call JJ, see what he thinks?
JJ is supposed to appear on this podcast.
Yeah, working on it. He did. Speaking of JJ Redick, we used to mention his name a lot. Mm-hmm. I noticed for both of his sons' birthdays on Instagram, he got them both cards as gifts.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying come on the podcast.
All right, that would be a big get.
Yeah, that would be.
He lives in my sister's neighborhood.
That would be insane. Well, tell her, knock on his door and say, hey, I have a brother. She's going to be like, okay, what are you doing here? And she's going to say, hey, I have a brother who does a sports card podcast. And,
But remember, I was with him at the wedding, the connection already.
Yes. Well, I wasn't going to say it. And I think it's worth
We'll save it for the next one. So I want to
it's worth another text. It's worth another text.
I want to show one other card that I got. Moving past JJ Redick.
Okay.
This is just a nice one. We talk about parallels on here and continuity and parallels that aren't just like these Fugazi parallels, ones that have existed in various sets.
Yes.
I'm personally a fan of Optic Black Velocity. Thoughts?
Okay. You'd have to remind me what it looks like again.
Well, it's black velocity, so it's probably black and maybe has like a pattern to it.
All right. Velocity though doesn't really make any sense in a visual, like it's just moving fast. I mean, why would you name it
as
black
I look at
velocity? First of all, if it's black, you can't even see how fast it's going if it's at a high rate of speed.
It's funny because as I look at it in the light, it does look like it's moving kind of fast, but it's this card.
All right, I see okay. No, that's awesome. So is that a 1 of 1? What is that?
No.
Oh, I thought. All right. What is it?
No. Here you go. In a little bit of light. Black Velocity. Okay. It's from 2022. Donruss Optic. Jalen Brunson.
Yeah.
In the Knicks uniform. First year in the Knicks uni. PSA 10 and the Optic Black Velocities are out of 39. So 39. I think the black just looks good with the Knicks uniform.
So hold on, you just got through saying that you value parallels and continuity and not the Fugazi parallels, and then you come in with an out of 39.
You got me there. However,
Okay, I was just trying to follow the train of thought.
I have just generally in my collecting have when I see black velocities come across my screen, my eyes turn for whatever reason.
Okay, so the black velocity has been continued through sets, but the numbering on it changes.
That might be the case. I feel like I remember it being at a 25 at some point. I'm thinking 2018 Donruss Optic Soccer had a
Okay.
black velocity that I really liked. And I'm looking this up on Card Ladder.
Now,
As
what's
we
the pop
speak.
count on that? Because it's a PSA 10 out of
25.
39. So what's the pop on it?
It is 25 back in 2018. However, in basketball, it seems to be out of 39. Interesting. Very
Huh.
interesting. We
Okay.
learn something new every day.
There you go.
2018 Donruss Optic Soccer Black Velocity was numbered out of 25. 2018 Donruss Optic Football Black Velocity was out of 25. However, 2018 Donruss Optic Black Velocity Basketball was out of 39.
Huh.
How about that?
I wish I would have kept it out of 25.
Regardless, at least the 39 is continuous.
Yeah. 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 There you go.
But that was a nice little hobby factoid right there.
Yeah. Good factoid. And it involved numbers.
Exactly. So Jalen Brunson Black Velocity PSA 10. I just think it's a nice looking card. It's low numbered. The photography's cool. His first year in the Knicks, so this was a nice little scoop for like $100.
And what is the pop count with it being a PSA 10 numbered out of 39?
What do you think it is?
I'm going to say pop 5.
Pop 5. It is. This is great podcasting.
Yeah. You're building the suspense.
But yeah, I just think Jalen Brunson stuff, whether I'm going to PC this or move it, it's in New York, no brainer. I'm not getting this pop count.
Really?
Yeah. Bad lighting in here. I'll get it. What do you got for me?
Okay. Well, cliffhanger to keep watching until the end of the podcast.
No, I got it. We're good. No,
Okay.
I don't got it. This is terrible.
Bro, what how are you podcasting with the Wi-Fi and then you can't get the pop count? So what you do, you open the camera and then you tap on the QR code and that'll get the camera to focus. And then what happens is the PSA thing comes up.
I know how it works. I know how it works. I can't capture it because my lighting and phone's bad.
Okay,
it's
bro.
a pop 4, okay?
Oh, darn it. I wish I would have been right. Then I could add a mic drop. All right. Well, hey, that's great. I mean, that's cool. Jalen Brunson in the Knicks uniform.
Cool card. I like this.
And like you mentioned at your last showcase spectacular that you set up at Bleecker in New York City, Jalen Brunson was what most people were asking about. And that was before he's continued to even elevate more, all-star. So,
yeah, he'll always be in demand. I just think he's going to be the guy here for the next however many years.
I hope so, bro. He's great to watch. And the Villanova, how about Josh Hart? He's coming on strong too.
Yeah. OG's hurt again. Not good.
Yeah.
Speaking of Bleecker, and then I want to mention my friend. You have another ticket first, though.
You want me to get to the ticket?
Yeah, that's your next, right?
All right. Yes. So we mentioned on the last episode, speaking of investments, I made my biggest investment into a ticket yet. The Larry Bird Night ticket from February 4th, 1993 in the Boston Garden. The huge ceremony that I mentioned. If you want more about that, listen to the last episode or rehash it if you haven't. And basically it was Larry Bird's jersey retirement, raising his jersey up to the rafters to join the letter R and Bill Russell, previously mentioned in this podcast episode. So, the whole Boston Garden was sold out. All his old teammates came. Magic Johnson was there. So this was the ticket I mentioned that was signed by Larry Bird in green Sharpie, signed by Magic Johnson in yellow Sharpie. So you have the team color match of the Sharpies on the Larry Bird Night ticket. Okay, that was previously on Crosstown Cardboard. Now, to this episode 80. Adding to the internal audit that I'll have to do after this episode is another Larry Bird Night dual autograph ticket. Now you can easily spot the difference if you're watching on YouTube, because on this one, same exact ticket, but both Magic Johnson and Larry Bird's autographs are in the classic blue Sharpie, bold, beautiful, and just, the classic look versus the previous one I had, which had the green and yellow Sharpie autographs. So if you look at both of these next to each other, Craig, which do you prefer on the Larry Bird Night ticket, the blue and blue autos or the green and yellow autos? I just wanted a little variety.
The blue definitely have, you could see the signatures better.
Okay.
But I do like the mix one as well because the Larry Bird is with Larry Bird. So they each have their positives, and it's in green. But hey, that's a play out of my playbook.
What?
You like something such a perfect item for you. If you could find multiple, you got to get them.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost this Bird and Magic is almost like your Walt Clyde Frazier and Bernard King.
You won't find two more.
I know a guy who has clearly a few of them. No, but he's, what's interesting though, and this is Justin, who is Kobe Ruth on Instagram and Hall of Fame Investments on eBay, full-time ticket salesman, who I mentioned on the last one that I got this Bird and Magic dual auto in green and yellow on the Larry Bird Night ticket. And then he's like, you know what? Are you interested in these? Because I'm sending a huge Magic and Bird lot out to Golden for their auction. And he's like, I just want to run it by you to see if you're interested. And I said, you know what? I would like to have one of the blue on blue dual auto on the Larry Bird Night ticket to match the green and yellow, because one is like fun and whimsical. I mean, still, piece of history, but the other is just classic with the blue and blue. It's hard to, so you have the new age flashy color match in my mind, and then the blue on blue classic collector look. So like you said, just one of each. And when you like something, and now if I was to sell one, let's say if I was to test the market, then I could choose one to sell. And if it comes down to it, but right now I like the two with the variety, the blue on blue and the green and yellow. So what's interesting also, Craig, is that I had the chance to get another green and yellow one, but instead I went with the variety and got the blue on blue instead, partially because, like I said, I want the variety with the classic versus the fun and colorful. But at the same time, since he's sending the green and yellow one to Golden, now I get to see what this ticket will actually sell for on the public market without me having to be the one to sell it. So now I might get a comp. Now, it could be a low comp. It could be, I bought this blue on blue for $550 and I bought the green and yellow for $600.
Okay.
So, in my mind, it should sell for at least $1,000. I don't know. I thought $600 was a good price based on what it costs to get these guys to autograph stuff these days and the historical significance and just Magic Bird. But it'll be kind of like a trial run, a little beta test to see what does this dual autograph ticket sell for when it's on the open market.
Interesting. I like it.
Yeah. So
that comp's going to be interesting to see what happens, because didn't you say there was a comp on a card that crushed one of your PC cards?
Yes, there was.
Wait, before that, you have the exquisite Bird Magic dual autograph. You have 2 copies of it, right?
Right.
Just like you have 2 copies of this. You got it tight.
I got it tight.
You like duels. You like doubles of the duel of those guys.
Yes. True. So, I maybe we'll do a different episode on like what happens when you get a bad comp on one of your PC cards. That would be an interesting like psychological, I feel like I want to save that for a different episode.
Okay. What was
especially
the card?
since I'm on the high of this Bird and Magic dual autograph ticket. It actually was you know what? I don't want to give it away. I want to tease it.
Was it that card?
I want to tease it. It actually was. Now that you mention it, it was the Magic and Bird Exquisite.
Out of 25, really? It came up.
Yeah, but there was I won't say damage, but the auto was not fully one piece. When there's a break in the auto?
Okay.
On the Larry Bird one. So I'm interested when we dive into that deeper on another episode, what you think of how much that could have influenced
the
price. Because for collectors, Like if I saw that and I was going after that, I wouldn't even look at that card, to be
I'm
honest.
sure if you felt that way, then others did too.
Yeah. So we'll have to dive into that, but you forced it out of me.
Nice.
You definitely did.
I met a hobby friend in real life today after 3 years of conversation.
Wow. Okay. So how did that go?
The_card professor on Instagram. Vanson. He scrolled all the way back today. Our first conversation was February 2021.
Oh, you had never met Vanson in person?
No.
So, but you remember you
Oh,
introduced me to Vanson.
yeah. Okay, I forgot. You know Vanson.
You introduced me to Vanson, and I met Vanson in San Francisco at that card show.
Yes, he mentioned that today. You didn't know who this I was talking about, do you?
No.
Oh, it's great. You know him. All right, that's good. So awesome. Love that. And I forgot he mentioned that today too. He scrolled back. Our first conversation was February 2021. He's visiting New York City with his wife and son. So he got a little break and he met me at this place in between the subway I was taking and where my school is. Had a couple margs, some chips and guac, met for the first time and just like shot the shit for an hour. We had these seats just like sitting out in front, New York City street, just vibing, people watching, catching up, talking hobby. It was good stuff.
Wow, that's great. What a great first meeting. It
was great. Good times, good vibes.
So did you guys talk about how it's been 3 years since you met and like online and how crazy it is to finally meet in person?
Well, yeah, and to add context, we had connected because he is also a math teacher.
Yes.
So we're in the same, we have an educators at the hobby group, which is not super active, but it's like 20 to 25 different teachers.
Okay.
It's not, so him and I were like early on there, connected through education. So he still works with schools and working with teachers, like teaching teachers. And it was cool to get to meet him in real life, hear about his hobby strategy and how he operates.
He's got some big cards.
Nah, he's good. Knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
A silent hustler. I like it.
So he's a math teacher. So obviously with the numbers, he knows what he's
right. Yeah. So that was great. Someone you've talked cards with for the last 3 years to meet and hang out in real life. Good times.
Yeah. Wow. Now, was he different, similar? How was he different in person versus online?
I'd known him. I've seen him in different like various content and stuff. So I knew his personality. But yeah, just like I know him online. That's our guy, man.
That guy's got a great energy. He's so positive and so social with everybody.
I agree.
And so expressive, man. He blew me away with how, theatrical in a great way he was when I met him in San Francisco. I'm like, this guy's the life of the party.
That's it. But that's a great reputation to have.
Great guy. And he includes everybody, everybody coming by. He wants to talk to him, make him feel welcome. That's a great person for the hobby.
I admire that.
Yeah.
The other update I had was the Bleecker Showcase event.
Okay.
Yeah, every Sunday of the month.
How much are you able to divulge about that?
I can't talk about the second one, but the showcase event's been posted already.
Oh, okay.
So Bleecker, their New York and their LA location, every first Sunday of the month, they do a showcase spectacular, which I don't know if you've like seen it before.
Well, you told me about the one that you set up at.
Yeah, it's great times. So their trade nights are pretty much a free-for-all. Like just enjoy the space. Same thing, except some of the space is taken up by tables with real estate. Like they actually have their showcases out there, the cards out there. But it's still generally a trade day type of vibe.
Yeah.
Sunday, spring, 2:00 in the afternoon, West Village. Like that's the place to be right there.
Yeah.
So my students have had enough experience going to Bleecker, buying, selling, trading. They know cards. So they now have a slot every Sunday representing Boss Card Club. And my students will be set up there buying, selling, wheeling, and dealing. And I'm going to use the Wednesday meetings to help them prepare for it.
That is great.
Right?
Wow. I didn't know that was the thing that Bleecker was offering to your kids.
Yeah. Unbelievable. I mean, Jake, who you've met as well, has been the guy.
Great guy.
He's been the day one card club guy. Because he knows the vibes. He knows what it is.
What a great connection to have with him, being a high-ranking official at Bleecker Trading and, welcoming those kids in. So let me ask you this. Now, there have to be tryouts for what makes it into the kids' showcase at the Showcase Spectacular. how is that going to work with, which kids are going to get spots? Are they going to get the same amount of real estate in the show? How is that broken down?
You don't think I've already thought about all of this?
Well,
No.
yes, I do, but that's why I'm asking you. If I didn't think you had the answer,
I feel like I should save it for the meetings. That's it's like card club intel that we're just plotting and planning.
So you're not ready to internally audit Card Club.
No, in reality, it is a valid point. I don't know how many kids are going to go. There's 15 at most in Card Club. They're not. I'm thinking maybe 3 to 5 of them will show up.
Okay.
For that event. What will their showcase look like? They'll have some value boxes, which I'm going to help them prep from donations.
Okay.
And maybe they could split the showcase space. My idea was if you sell one of your cards in the showcase, it's yours. If you sell value box stuff, you all split it like it's tips.
Okay, yeah. Well, that makes sense because all the donations would be kind of a shared thing.
Exactly.
So if those are in the value box, that should be a shared profit. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah. Oh, this guy knows what he's doing.
Yeah, this is what I do.
But now let me ask this. Now, in my opinion, as far as my input on Card Club, which can be obviously taken with a grain of salt, you're the boss. Can I be the VP of Card? No, I'm not involved in a. Can I be something in Card Club?
You can give the opinion you're about to give on Card Club.
A consultant?
Sure.
Oh, thanks. Thanks for the enthusiasm of me being in the role. Anyway, so here's my thought. There should be a draft on, let's say you have 3 to 5 kids, a snake draft of each kid, gets to go through, pick one card that they want to put in the showcase. So each kid has an equal number of cards and has equal representation in the showcase.
Snake draft as far as where the cards go?
No, as far as the number of cards that each. So let's say you have 5 kids. So you randomly draw out of a hat 1 through 5. What draft order or what order are we going to use to pick the cards that we're going to get to put in the showcase? So each kid gets an even number. And then, the 5th kid would then get the first pick in the second round after getting the 5th pick in the first round. And then you just go until, maybe how many cards can fit in a showcase, 30 or whatever, 40.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how much exact real estate they're going to have, but they all have their personal collection. So I told them to break it up. What stuff you want to keep? What's the better stuff you want to sell? What's like the lower end?
Yeah, that'd be interesting to strategize. I'll be interested to hear how that goes.
In my head, it's perfect and it's going to work out, but we shall see. Well, I can tell you from 10 years of teaching and lesson planning, it doesn't always work out the way you plan it, but
yeah, but it'll work out in a
built for anything. You're just on the fly.
Yes, it'll be a positive. There's no way it can be a bad thing. It'll be a positive, and if parts are, failing, which I doubt, you'll fail forward. You'll learn from it,
Hey, I'm not going to be there for the first 6 hours of it, so they are on their own.
Oh, wow. What a kick you out of the nest moment. They're going to have to spread their
training wheels off.
But they're prepared. They've been prepared well. They just took a trip to Fanatics. So, I mean, they're built for this moment.
So that's what I got.
So Craig, I remember I mentioned, I mentioned this ticket on the last episode, and I told you that I picked up a ticket from a new buddy, one who I met at the sports card shop here in Greenville, South Carolina, Brian's Sports Cards and More. And I was just hanging out there for 3 hours. I told you last episode on my 2 off days, met this guy named Steele. He had a autographed Hank Aaron World Series ticket from the late 50s. And I was like, wow, that's cool. So we started talking about tickets. And he immediately went home, sent me pictures of his collection. And I'm like, oh, I would be interested in that one that you just sent me. And he's like, oh, perfect. I have 2 of them. So I'll sell you one. And it was the ticket I mentioned in Dyersville, Iowa, at the Field of Dreams field. The first ever MLB game played on the Field of Dreams field. Yankees against Chicago White Sox. The Yankees losing that game 8-7. Aaron Judge hitting 2 home runs into the cornfield. And look at the design. Field of Dreams.
Cool.
You can see the nod to the Kevin Costner famous movie that I'm sure a lot of you have watched.
Kevin Costner. I'm watching Yellowstone right now.
Oh, great series also. So Yeah, back in 2001, August 12th. And not very many of these tickets out there. So it's
Very cool.
ungraded. I feel like maybe the next step in my ticket collecting journey is getting some of these slabbed. I mean, almost all of my tickets are slabbed, but if you're watching on the YouTube, you saw the Larry Bird night. Now, 2 dual autograph tickets are not slabbed, they're in raw condition. This Field of Dreams Yankees White Sox ticket is in raw condition. But other than that, pretty much everything else is slabbed, other than the 1982 Clemson football national championship ticket, their first ever national title in football. So out of 3, of course. So yeah, I mean, that was $30.
Oh, cool to cost. High.
I want like to present stuff and then have you just review it. Cool to cost. High.
Cool
Or
to cost
cool to cost.
level here.
Cool to cost.
Well, I'm working on a formula in all
Yeah,
seriousness.
yeah. All right. Do you have a lead on that? I mean, I feel like that's a
It's all here right now. Like the ideas are flowing. It's something's in the works.
we just need to quantify
So I mean,
this qualifier. I mean, it's kind of a feel thing right now, and we can put a. I'm excited to see what you come up with, though.
yeah. I got to think of a position for you for Card Club. You could definitely be the ticket consultant.
Whoa! I can't be an overall consultant after all we've been 80 episodes, bro. After all we've been through, I can't just be a general consultant.
Sure, we'll put you on. We'll put you on retainer.
I don't. The lack of enthusiasm is. I'm gonna have to recall my people. We're gonna have to negotiate.
Listen, we're okay. Fine. I hope the content isn't stale because I have been itching to go to a show, and I was talking to Vanson today. I feel like I have more to talk about when I'm going to shows, when I'm going to trade nights, and that's my strength is like the in-person experience. So I'm
Yeah.
going this Sunday, and I'm very, very, very excited to just
Yeah.
walk around.
Oh, I don't think either of our stuff is stale, and hopefully, if you're watching on YouTube and podcasts, you don't either, or else you probably wouldn't still be listening. So thank you
Valid.
for tuning in. And if you have made it this far, please like, subscribe, rate, review, comment, tell a friend. If you're, enjoying anything you're getting out of Crosstown Cardboard, or just enjoying, passing the time listening to us, take a breather and, help give you a little entertainment and hopefully information on what could be a long work day, whatever you're going through. I know I use podcasts for that as well. So, we're here, we're collecting with you. We're enjoying the hobby. Tickets and cards. We'll see what happens as far as positions and possible promotions within Card Club. If we're able to strike something for me, we'll definitely give any updates on, who's able to pull some strings to let me be involved. But no, that's great, bro. I can't wait to see what the kids' thoughts are on the showcase spectacular at Bleecker, and what a great another experience that you've assisted them and helped them out to further their hobby enjoyment.
I hope it goes well. I'm sure it will.
All right, bro.
Peace.